I can't tell you how many times I have had a mom step on the scale, see no change, and feel instantly defeated, even when everything else in her life was improving. Have you been there? You're showing up for your workouts, you're eating better, you're eating your veggies, you're getting your protein, you have more energy, but that one number on the scale makes you feel like you're failing. Here's the truth, mama. The scale is not the ultimate measure of progress. Postpartum, especially, your body is going through so many changes that the scale often tells a very incomplete story. Whether you 3 months postpartum, which I do not recommend stepping on the scale 3 months postpartum, or even if you're 5+ years from having your baby. That's why today I'm breaking down 7 ways you can measure success beyond the scale so you can actually celebrate the wins that matter most. Feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, or like you've lost yourself in the postpartum chaos? Whether you're 4 weeks postpartum, 2 years in, or done having babies, you deserve to feel like yourself again. Hey mama, I'm Val, a functional sports dietitian, postpartum fitness coach, and a mama who understands exactly what you're going through. Welcome to the Strong Nourished Momma Podcast, where you'll find simple, science-backed strategies to heal your core, rebuild strength, and restore your energy without the overwhelm. If you're ready to go from depleted to strong, nourished, and unstoppable, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Before we jump into today's episode, I want to share a quick story from one of the moms in the Strong, Nourished, and Energized Mom Method program that absolutely made my week. She told me that when she first started, she needed help lifting her son out of the bath. But after practicing the core and the strength techniques we go through in the program, she was able to pick him up all by herself the other night and felt so proud and strong doing it. That's what this program is all about. It's not just about the workouts or the nutrition. It's about feeling capable again, confident in your body, and strong for the moments that matter most. So if you're ready to feel that kind of strength and progress too, head to the link in the show notes to learn more about the Strong, Nourished, and Energized Mom Method program. You can also head to wellnessbyval.com/program to learn more. Let me ask you this. Have you ever stepped on the scale, you see no change, and you instantly feel defeated? Maybe you're only up by like 0.8 of a pound. Maybe it's 3 pounds. And maybe you think, what is the point? Even though deep down you knew you were making progress elsewhere. The truth is the scale can trick us. It tricks us into believing nothing is happening when in reality, your body might just be getting stronger. Your energy is steadier. And your confidence is high. You're feeling good. And then when you step on that scale, you're letting that number on that scale make or break our day. And that's exactly what we are going to be unpacking today in this episode. 7 ways to measure progress that have nothing to do with the number on the scale. And I've been there too. Mama. I've stepped on the scale after weeks of showing up. I'm staying consistent with my workout routine. I'm eating well. I'm moving my body, only to see the same number. Or maybe it's actually a little bit higher. And I'm like, wait, hold on a minute. I'm 5 pounds higher than where I was, then I've been doing X, Y, and Z, and I've been staying consistent. But here's what I noticed. While the scale wasn't moving, my clothes were fitting differently. I was lifting way heavier, even heavier than before I got pregnant. And I didn't feel the same afternoon slump that I used to get. This is when I realized that the scale wasn't telling me the whole story. And I knew that, right? You step on the scale, it's literally just your relationship to the ground. And that shift changed how I measured progress for myself now, for my clients too. And now I rarely weigh myself. I make sure that when I do step on the scale, I'm not going to let this number make or break my day. I'm not going to be happy because I lost 0.2 of a pound. I'm not going to be sad and have a horrible day because I gained 2 pounds, because that number, again, is just simply your relationship to the ground. That's all it is. And I hear so many moms and women say, once I get to X pounds, I'm going to be happy. You just wait. I'm going to be happy once I get to this number. I will feel better. I will blink, enter whatever the emotion is. But will you? Why are we letting this number dictate our life and our emotions? I mean, unfortunately, we have been raised with the scale. We have been raised with the scale. You probably grew up with a scale in your house. Maybe mom or parents weighed themselves, maybe friends weighed themselves, and then you see the emotions attached to that. So there's so many things to unpack there. But we have grown up actually thinking that weighing less is best, being small is worth more. And that is just bullshit. I'm just going to come out and say it. That is some BS. And after having my baby girl, I weigh more than what I did before I was pregnant. And that's okay because guess what? I'm way stronger. And my body went through so many different changes. And when it's said and done and our time on this earth has come, is that number on the scale what you really want to be remembered by? Like, is it really going to matter that much? Hell no. No, I mean, I don't want to be remembered that way. So let's talk about shifting our thinking. Let's talk about shifting our mindset because this is powerful. There are so many other ways we can track our progress in this crazy mom life of ours, okay? And I don't recommend weighing all the time. I really, really don't. So let's really dive into what the problem is with the scale. The scale doesn't measure fat loss. It doesn't measure how much fat you have. It doesn't measure how much muscle you have. It doesn't tell you what you're made up of. It just says, hey, this is your relationship to the ground. This is how much you weigh in pounds and kilos, however you're weighing yourself. And it doesn't account for water retention. It doesn't account for hormonal fluctuations. And it definitely doesn't measure your energy, your strength, or your confidence. So why are we letting this stupid number make or break our day? Let's stop. I don't want you to do that anymore. Your weight can fluctuate 3 to 5 pounds in a single day, just based on hydration, your sodium levels, your menstrual cycle. Where are you in your menstrual cycle? If you're in your luteal phase, girlfriend, the 2 weeks before your period, weight's going to be a little bit higher because we're actually going to be holding on to more fluid at that time. Naturally, hormones are going up. Inflammation is actually going up. And so if you're stepping on the scale and using this number as your only measure of progress, you're setting yourself up for a roller coaster of emotions. I had a client and she told me, Val, I haven't lost any weight. I'm doing all the things we talked about. So I just stopped doing everything because it's not working. There's no point. And I told her, okay, well, first, it's only been 2 weeks. It's only been 2 weeks. That is nothing, right? We need to give ourselves way more time. And you're not going to want to hear this, but it's probably going to take 6 to 12 months, depending on what your goals are, for us to reach those goals. And before we even throw in the towel, like let's give our body some time to catch up with what we're asking it to do. People don't want to hear that. People do not want to hear that. They're like, wait, it doesn't take 2 weeks. I'm over it. I'm done. We need to stop expecting these massive and dramatic results and changes in such a short period of time. So I want you to give your body some grace, be kind to your body, and trust your body before just giving up. Maybe get a little bit curious, like, okay, well, why is it trending in the upward direction? Why is it trending upwards? I don't want to see that trend. What's going on? Oh, you know what? I've actually had a lot of stress the last 2 months, and I have not been sleeping well. Okay, that's definitely going to have an impact, right? The scale can be a tool. It can be one tool, and it can be a great tool, but it's not the tool that we want to just rely on everything that we're doing, right? When it comes to self-monitoring and measuring progress, there's so many other things that we can do. So let's dive into the 7 ways to measure progress beyond the scale. Number 1, strength gains and or exercise performance. So one of the best ways to measure progress postpartum after you have a baby, whether it's 6 months, whether it's a year, 5 years, you're done having kids, you're in perimenopause, you're postmenopausal, where are you, right? Isn't your weight, it's your strength and it's your performance. So I want you to ask yourself, are you lifting heavier weights than you were a month ago? Can you do more reps, even if it's just one? Can you hold a plank a little bit longer, even if it's just 3 seconds? Or move through a workout with more ease. That is real progress. This comes down to a principle that's called progressive overload, gradually exposing your body to increasing demands over time. It's how your muscles, your nervous system, and even your endurance adapt to become stronger, faster, and more resilient. Now, inside my 8-week program, this is exactly how we approach exercise. We start with the foundational movements and techniques, and then we slowly layer in more challenging movements. Maybe you're adding in a Pilates ball. Maybe you're using a light weight before progressing to heavier ones. Maybe you're changing your position. You're adding in a barbell. like moving from a standard lunge to a front rack or an overhead lunge. That's progressive overload. These variations keep your body adapting and growing stronger in different ways. So this is something that I dive in way deeper into my 8-week program. So you can check that out at wellnessbyval.com/program or the link in the show notes. But here's the thing. These strength gains aren't just for the gym. They aren't just for the gym. Building muscle boosts your metabolism. Muscle is the organ of longevity. The more muscle mass you have, the more you're burning at rest. It's going to support fat loss long term, and it's going to make your everyday mom life a hell of a lot easier. Whether that's carrying groceries, hauling in the car seat, lifting your toddler without back pain, muscle matters. So we want to make sure that we're getting those strength gains, and we're also seeing an improvement in performance. One of the mamas in my program right now mentioned how paying attention to her posture and breathing, she has actually noticed a difference in how she feels when picking up her baby. And then she's progressing to other exercises and overloads as well. And she's noticing a big difference. So that's what I want you to focus on. Number one, strength gains and or performance, exercise performance, okay? And this really just depends on what you're doing when it comes to exercise. Number two, energy levels. So another huge sign of progress is your energy throughout the day. How are you still crashing mid-afternoon and needing a coffee to survive? Or maybe instead you're noticing steady energy, fewer cravings, more stamina. Like I have energy in the afternoon. That's awesome. When your nutrition, your exercise, your recovery are aligned, your energy becomes consistent instead of spiking and crashing up and down. And that is progress. That's huge. Steady energy means your blood sugar is balanced, your hormones are supported, and your body is actually fueled, not just starving on stress and caffeine. So number two is energy levels. How are your energy levels throughout the day? Number three, how do your clothes fit and what is your body composition like? So the scale might not move, but your body composition can change dramatically. And I hear this a lot, like, okay, well, the number on the scale is the same, but I'm actually feeling more comfortable in my clothes. And that's where we see the real magic happen. So what is body composition? It's simply the breakdown of your body into lean body mass, like your muscle, bone, organs, water, versus fat mass, okay? And so you're going to actually get these numbers if you get your body fat percentage done. I don't want you to just be hung up on that percentage, okay? You'll multiply your weight by that percentage to get your fat mass, and then you subtract your fat mass from your total weight to get your lean body mass. When we talk about fat loss, what we really want, and any weight loss, I should say, what we really want to lose is fat mass while protecting or even building lean body mass, especially skeletal muscle mass. So lean body mass and skeletal muscle mass are two different things. Lean body mass, again, is everything but fat. Skeletal muscle mass is going to be just that, your skeletal muscle. And here's the thing. Muscle weighs more than fat by volume. A pound of muscle and a pound of fat both weigh a pound, but muscle is denser. It takes up less space in your body. That's why you're going to lose inches. You're going to see changes in how your clothes are fitting. You're going to see a change in your waist and just overall, while the scale stays the same. But beyond appearance, muscle is critical for your long-term health. As I mentioned before with number one, exercise performance. Muscle is the organ of longevity. It's actually an endocrine organ, meaning it releases hormones and proteins that support your metabolism, your immune system, and even your brain. So we want muscle, especially going into perimenopause. I'm going to be 33. Actually, when this episode is being released is my birthday. I'm recording this ahead of time. I'm going to be 33. And I know that going into my mid 40s, late 40s, and early 50s, I'm going to be in perimenopause. And I want to set myself up for success for that time. And so I want to make sure that I have the most muscle that I can possibly have to be able to set myself up for success during that transition. It's another transition. So as moms, muscle is what's going to allow us to physically do all the things. Carry your babe, carry your toddler. Maybe you carry a baby and a toddler at the same time. Push a stroller, run with a stroller, haul the groceries, get down on the floor and play without pain. So here's the bottom line. If losing weight and getting to your goal number on the scale comes at the cost of losing your muscle, no thanks, see you later, okay? I'm going to say that again. If losing weight and getting to your goal number on the scale comes at the cost of losing muscle, say no thank you, bye-bye. Okay. What we really want is more muscle, less fat, and better function. We want to be functioning humans, functioning adults, especially as we age. That's body composition progress, and it matters way more than the number you see on that stupid scale. Okay. So if you can get access to body composition testing, a very common one you're going to see in the community is, at least here in the United States, is going to be the InBody. Another one that I personally use with my clients when I'm meeting with clients one-on-one in person, my corporate wellness job, is the skin fold. So when appropriate, we can actually do a skin fold measurement. And so that's something that actually takes practice. You're not going to just want anyone to be able to do a skin fold because it can be pretty inaccurate if they're not good, if they haven't been doing it or not educated in what a skin fold is or how to use it. But a common one in the community is bioelectrical impedance analysis, the InBody, which is doing full body. You may have a scale at home that estimates lean body mass and body fat percentage. That is a BIA as well, bioelectrical impedance analysis. It's just looking at lower body because it's a scale. There's also a handheld one looking at upper body only. And then, of course, the InBody, it's full body because you're standing on the scale and holding handles. Okay, so number 4 is sleep improvements. Sleep is huge. It is huge. And when we see improvements in sleep, it is amazing. You're a happy mom. It's going to impact everything, right? Energy, mood, cravings, hormones, even recovery. Now, I know as a mom, your nights might still include wake-ups with your baby or your toddler. Okay, mine includes wake-ups. And my babe is 2. But progress could look like being able to fall back asleep faster. Instead of laying there for hours or what feels like hours, you're tired but wired, you're twired. It might look like creating a calming pre-bed routine that helps you drift off more easily. Personally, I tracked my sleep with my Whoop band, and I can see things like consistency, efficiency, and how much time I spend in each sleep stage. But you don't need a device to notice this. Just start paying attention to how rested you feel in the morning. Better sleep is one of the clearest signs your body is healing and moving in the right direction, even if you are still having wake-ups, and you're going to, right? Especially if your kids are young. So that's just something to think about. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just some improvement when it comes to sleep. Number 5 is recovery time. Another big one, recovery. Progress looks like going from walking intervals to being able to jog between them, or noticing that your base level on the bike is higher than before. It also shows up in your vitals. So you're going to have a lower resting heart rate. Your heart doesn't have to do as much work by just sitting there. Improved blood pressure, or even bouncing back faster between workouts. You're recovering so much faster, okay? That is what we are looking at when it comes to recovery time and that progress. This is why it matters. We need to be able to recover between exercise sessions. You have to. You have to give yourself that recovery time. Without proper recovery, we risk burnout, injury, suppressed immunity. Maybe like you're working out every single day, or it's very high intensity most days of the week, and then all of a sudden you get sick. You're like, how come I always get sick every 3 weeks? It's also going to increase inflammation if we're not getting this recovery. So when you notice your body recovering faster, maybe it's in between intervals during your workout or between workouts and days, it's not just a win, it's a huge marker that your training and your lifestyle are working together. Are you recovering faster? But you obviously have to make sure you're giving yourself time to recover. So that's something to think about. Number 6, mood and confidence. Your progress isn't only what you see, it's also how you feel. One of the most powerful markers is your mood and your confidence. Man, I feel good. I feel good in my clothes. I have the energy. Maybe you're giving yourself more grace, being kinder in how you talk to your body, or you're actually celebrating what you can do instead of criticizing what you can't. Big difference there. These shifts don't show up on a chart. They don't show up on a scale, okay? But they do matter, and they matter deeply. Confidence is often the first domino that makes everything else easier. When you feel more positive, less anxious, and more proud of yourself, it's going to change how you show up, not just in fitness, but in motherhood and in life. So that's a big one, mood and confidence. Number 7, the last one, consistency. This is the hardest part, but also the most important. Progress looks like staying consistent, not perfect. I am not saying perfect. I'm saying consistent with the supportive habits that you have been building over the last 6 months to a year. Showing up for yourself regularly with the nutrition, movement, sleep, stress management is the foundation for lasting change. And I don't want you to forget that. It's also okay to check in with yourself and adjust along the way, right? If you're like, hey, you know what, this isn't really working out for me, then let's change some things up. But I don't want you to just throw in the towel at 2 weeks or even at a month or 2 months. Sometimes your body needs new challenges, different types of workouts, or fresh routines to keep progressing. So that's why, one, your exercise program should have progressive overload in it. It shouldn't just be these random workouts. You should be seeing some of the same things again and again. And then we should be progressing after you finish that program into another program. Consistency doesn't mean rigidity, doing the same boring thing over and over and over again. If you're going to the gym every week, but you're doing the same thing, and it's been 6 months, a year, 10 years, we gotta change it up, okay? What this means when we're saying staying consistent means just continuing to show up and adapt in ways that support you, okay? So here's the bottom line. Progress isn't just one number. The scale is data, yes, but it's not the entire picture. This week, I want you to challenge yourself. Instead of stepping on the scale, write down one. If you can write down more, that is awesome. Write down one non-scale victory that you have had. Maybe you picked up heavier weights. Maybe you had steady energy all day. Maybe you just showed up for yourself consistently. Celebrate it. Write it down, because those small wins, they add up. So let's do a quick recap. Today, we walked through 7 ways to measure progress beyond the scale. Number 1, your strength gains and your exercise performance. Number 2, your energy levels throughout the day. Number 3, changes in body composition and how your clothes fit. Number 4, improvements in your sleep. Number 5, faster recovery between workouts. 6, boosts in mood and confidence. And number 7, staying consistent with your habits. Remember, progress isn't always about a smaller number. It is not always about a smaller number. It is about building strength. It is about building energy and resilience so you can feel amazing in your body and thrive in motherhood. And one last thing I want you to hear today. Small changes still matter. Small changes still matter. Slow progress is still progress. Every step forward counts, even if it doesn't feel big or dramatic in the moment. These tiny wins add up, and they're what's going to create lasting transformation. So trust the process, keep showing up, and know that the work you are putting in today, mama, is shaping the strong, nourished, and energized version of yourself tomorrow. And if you are ready to build strength, fuel your energy, and create habits that actually last, this is exactly what we do inside the Strong, Nourished, and Energized Mom Method program. Inside this 8-week group coaching program, you are going to learn how to rebuild your core and pelvic floor safely, fuel your body with energy without dieting, and create habits that stick even in busy mom life. You don't have to guess what is safe, piece together random workouts online, or stay stuck in survival mode. I am going to guide you step by step. So enrollment is now open. Just head to wellnessbyval.com/program or check out the show notes for all the details. Thanks for tuning in today, mama, and don't forget to celebrate your non-scale wins this week. Until next time, stay strong, nourished, and energized. Hey mama, I hope you loved today's episode. If you got something out of it or simply enjoyed listening, would you please take 30 seconds to share it with another mom who could use the support? And if you haven't yet, I would be so grateful if you could leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you tune in. It truly means the world to me, and it helps the show reach more amazing moms like you. All right, time to go chase my toddler around. Stay strong and nourished, and I'll be back on Monday with another episode. Talk soon.